Hello and welcome to the Oh Hi Cornk, a Gang of Babies Shitcom full episode commentary track. My name is Cliff Burgess and I'm the writer, director, editor, and creator of this wacky, weird show that exists. I don't know if anyone is gonna actually watch it, but it does exist in our universe. It is here. Cork is here to stay. Um, I've always wanted to do a commentary track for something I produced. I love commentary tracks. Commentary tracks are the cat's meow brow, and you can learn a lot about certain aspects of filmmaking and how a thing is made. So let's talk about how this thing was made, and it kind of started uh, with a set. Um, David Nail, the production designer, constructed and designed the set with Jordan Armstrong for a student short film. And when that wrapped, I asked if the set could stick around until I got back from this trip I was going on. And Nail said sure, and I said great. And on an overnight flight to Europe while in intense gut pain, I thought I had an ulcer at the time, uh, but it turns out I got that don't eat bread disease. So I'm on this flight and just retching in pain, and I'm popping Tums, aspirin, edibles, anything I could do to dull this pain, and nothing was helping. So to distract myself, I started writing the script that would become Oh Hi Cornk, this 16-page script. So we had a set, and I love this set. I think the color palette was split peat green and boiled ham orange, and it's just a big booger of a video. I absolutely love it. So we had the set, we had the script, and there were a few actors that I had in mind while writing, and the first being Paul Jeff Burton, this guy right here. Jeff and I were cast in a production of an Inspector Calls up in Jupiter, Florida, and we just clicked. We would shoot the shit and pick each other's brains backstage between scenes, and we discovered we had common interests in film production. And I loved his voice. His voice reminded me of David Lynch. Uh, and I might be the only one that hears it, but his voice just sounded so much like David Lynch, and I love David Lynch, and I love Paul Jeff Burton. So when I offered the part to Jeff, I also broached the idea of him becoming the executive producer. I said, we have the set. All we need to do is pay the actors what we can pay for some props, get some snacks, and $600 later, and you got yourself a shitcom. So, flash forward to the day of the shoot, which, as of today, was 1 year, 2 months, and a couple days since we filmed. The morning of the shoot, we had a brownout, which fucked up the air conditioning on the studio side of the warehouse. It was upwards of 85 degrees on set throughout the day, and I gotta I gotta give it up to this cast because I did not hear one complaint. I mean, they didn't air their grievances to me if they air their grievances at all, but the heat did not ruin the fun whatsoever, and I'm ever thankful for them for putting up with the heat. Um, Speaking of fun, here's a little drinking game next time you're watching Cornk. Whenever you see sweat on someone's forehead, take a drink. You might get a little tipsy. And because of the heat, I needed to get through the day quickly. All 16 pages in under 8 hours. Little room was left for improvisation, so the experiment became write a script and as best as you can get what's written on the page on the screen. And it's kind of the first time that the thing that I had in my head originally was what came out on the screen, which was kind of cool. Chad Atkins And that's not a typo on my part. It was a typo on his birth certificate, true story. Chat and I worked together on an immersive theater production called Miami Motel Stories, and he just blew me away with his talent. He was definitely in mind when I was writing Mr. Templeton. And we'll get into the significance of one of Mr. Templeton's lines at the end. If you've seen part 3, I think you know the line I'm talking about. We'll get into that later. Wesley Slade was my one and only choice for Cornk. Cornk was written for him 100%. We had Before this shoot, we had just done a production of One Man, Two Governors, and we had an absolute blast. Our comedic timing together really clicked, and I knew I wouldn't have to give him much direction. I just wanted to let him go and see what happens, and he did not disappoint. In general, I didn't really have to give the actors too much direction other than blocking. Go here, go there, pick this up, put this down. I would make sure the intentions and the character motivations were clear, but I trusted this cast to make big, bold choices. Nick Chimente worked on the shot, the special effects shot that's coming up with me. He was responsible for distorting Cornk's head while he's sucking the energy out of and it's a gradual process where you just start seeing these weird waves going through his head, and I thank him for working on that. I've known Nick for a long time, and we made countless videos together, and this guy is a jack of all trades. Not only was he acting here, but he was also, when he was not on screen, he was behind the camera helping us film, and I think he worked on the wiring for the Cornk spaceship. So I'm really lucky to have Nick on the team and in the cast. So yeah, I didn't, this cast really understood the style of what I was going for, especially Nanik Garidian. We worked professionally together at a theater company which shall remain nameless, and she was also in a Gang of Babies video back in the day, so if you scroll through some of our past videos, you'll catch a cool cameo from her, and she's just brilliant in this. Really went for it 100%. Courtney Poston I met while working on a production of Avenue Q. I was on the tech side. She played one of the Bad Ideas bears, and her comedic timing and energy was electric, and she fit perfectly in this wacky world. Now you're probably detecting a pattern. Everyone that worked on Cornk I met through theater down here in the South Florida theater community. This was definitely a South Florida effort through and through. We had a 3-camera setup, and it was in the style of how a real sitcom would be shot, I suppose. Most of the time it would be me on camera A, Jordan Armstrong on camera B, and Michaela Shapani, co-founder of Gang of Babies, on camera C. Jordan Armstrong I have dubbed the king of B-roll. He has saved my ass on so many videos with cutaways. Rich Zabluski was running sound, and Rich, if you're listening to this, you did an amazing job, and I just want you to know that sometimes when the audio sync and the actor's lips are a little off, it's intentional. I wanted to keep with the B movie quality of what we're doing here. So it was a special day, and I want to thank my associate producers on this, David Nail and Paul Tay. They were instrumental in the creation of Cornk as a whole, and getting through this day. Those boys understand that when you're on the set, it's a party. It's a time and a place for creation, but it's really about having a good time. They made sure everyone had what they needed, and I absolutely thank them. And the costumes, too. Paul did an amazing job working with each actor on the look of the characters, and Nail did an excellent job on the Cornk costume design. I mean, on the day, the morning because Wesley lives in Orlando, and it wasn't like we could do a costume fitting beforehand. And I wasn't part of that process. The first time I saw Cornk was the first time everyone else saw Cornk. So and I had full trust in him. The costumes really made this show. They blend together nicely with the puke green walls. Now, the Cornk cake eating scene, I modeled after a scene from Fight Club where Ed Norton's character is beating up Jared Leto's character, but the scene isn't about Jared Leto's face getting bashed in. This scene isn't about cake being devoured by Cornk. It's about the reactions. And if you watch that scene in Fight Club, it's the reactions that give us a sense of the horrifying nature of what's going on. uh, I really love this scene. Cutting this scene was really fun, and we had 3 cameras on Cornk eating this cake, and it really just lasted like a minute. But I stretched out so much that you're getting so many angles and so many moments of the cake eating. It came out really, really well. It's really gross. Uh, so we talked about the who, what, when, and how, but I guess we haven't really talked about the why Cornk was made. What is the subtextual meaning behind Oh Hi Cornk? And you're probably thinking there's a subtextual meaning to this schlock. And well, yeah. I wanted to explore the sitcom trope of the dad character having to deal with the annoyance of this Urkel type character from Family Matters, or the Cody character from Step by Step. This character that weaves in and out, that drives the dad just nuts. But I wanted to explore this trope through the framework of race. And I don't want to over-explain anything. I want you to read into all this however you want. But to me, and even though he was played by a white guy, Cornk represents the other. And the dad character here represents the rejection of the other and how that leads to humanity's eventual demise. It's a cautionary tale, warning certain white citizens on this planet to wake the fuck up and start accepting other people's differences. And in this case, an alien who is gracious enough to say to this family, "I love you so much. Why don't you come with me on my spaceship? Your Earth is dying. You better bail." So it's this wonderful celebration. Come on along. And the dad is just, again, rejects the other.
But honey, Cornk just said the Earth is dying.
Dang it, Dad.
I would rather die on Earth than spend another minute with Cornk. Nice to see you leave.
I really love that line reading. Nice to see you leave. I think the line was just goodbye, Cornk, but Jeff just brings his own spin to things, and nice to see you leave. And here's the moment when Mr. Templeton and Cornk come face to face. Now, Mr. Templeton's been on the lookout for these weird occurrences that are happening in the outside world, and he's finally coming face to face with the source. And here comes the big thesis line.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and gentrify my own ass out of this neighborhood.
Gentrify my own ass out of this neighborhood. Now, on the day, I had a conversation with Chat, and I wanted to make sure we talked about this line. I wanted to make sure that it was cool with him, and we were both kind of nervous about it, but we talked through it, and we agreed to go for it. And I want to thank Chat for his trust in me, and the "see you later" weirdos was just the icing on the cake. White people are weird, and I believe I'm on this planet to make fun of them. And when they hear that thesis line, my hope is that they start to question what they've been watching this whole time. How does it alter the meaning of the TV remote in part 1? The fear of losing the power, the fear of not being in control. You start to see the strange interactions between this white family and their black landlord as something other than just a weird joke. And nothing against weird jokes. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is mind-numbing entertainment wrapped up in a puke green bow. But it's a reminder that if we don't get our shit together on this planet, we are doomed. If we can't love and respect each other's differences, no matter what race, religion, sexuality, what have you, any of our differences that make us the cherished human beings that we are, then the good aliens aren't going to come down here. We're going to get the cornks and dorks of the universe, or the creepy gray aliens that just want to probe our asses. We're not going to get the aliens that are going to give us that technology to progress as a species. No, they're just going to look down on us and wonder what the hell's going on down there. Because we're fucking up, folks. Hey, thank you for joining us. It's 3 a.m. the night before the last Cornk videos are going out. If you have been watching these Cornk videos the month of July 2020, I thank you. I want to thank everybody on this scroll right now for helping me make this possible. Thank you to Uncle Neptune for his music. If you're out there, Uncle Neptune, I'd love you to lay down the vocal tracks. That'd be cool. Thank you to Matt Cat, Serving Size Media, Willy Wah Films, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more, folks. Do me a favor and subscribe to the Gang of Babies YouTube channel. Let's keep making these videos. Stay tuned for more. Have a good one.